Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on how to prepare a SEIR in SWEPT. Before we get started, though, I would like to do a sound check to make sure that everyone can hear me and see my slides. Stephanie, can you hear?
I can, loud and clear. I see the slide as well.
Right. And if someone in the participants who's not an organizer can just chat to let us know if you can hear, that would be great. And just as a reminder, this is a webinar, so you're all on mute right now. If you have questions, please go ahead and put the questions in the chat box there, and we will answer them either in the box, replying to everybody, or we may just address them at the end during the question session. The webinar is being recorded, and the recording plus videos with just the SWEPT demonstrations and the PowerPoint presentation will be available on the OEM website. And I'll be sending out an email to all of the people who registered and all SWEPT users to get links to those when they're available. So let's go ahead and get started. First, I wanted to make some introductions. I'm Ruth Roaza. I'm with OEM. I'm the Environmental Process Analyst and the team leader for SWEPT. And I've got some people with me to help with the presentations and to help answer questions that I may not know the answers to. So I'd like to turn it over to Pete to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Pete McGilvery. I'm one of the environmental administrators in the Office of Environmental Management, and here to help with any questions you guys might have today. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Christine for her introduction.
Hi, I'm Christine Haddock, and I'm an in-house consultant, and I've been working on the aspect of consistency between the changes in the form with what's in the PD&E manual, making sure everything's consistent. And I'll pass this on to Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Clemens. I'm one of the developers in the SWEPT application, and I also staff the OEM help desk. So whenever y'all get to start using this year, if you have any technical questions or if something need assistance, I'll be glad to help.
Thank you. So today's training is focusing on the functionality of the SEIR. I just wanted to make that clear. We're not going to be talking about what the expectations are or what should be included in a SEIR, because that's like a 2-day training. We're going to go through the workflow, the approval workflow, how to prepare it using SWEPT, reviewing and approving. Because we're focusing on our functionality, not the content, I wanted to point out some additional training resources for you. First of all, there is, of course, the PD&E manual. Before you start a SEIR, you will need to be familiar with that. The chapter, part 1, chapter 10 is the state, local, or privately funded project delivery chapter, and that one is where you'll find more instructions about the SEIR. The part 2, topics and analysis, will give you the guidance and procedures for all of the different topics that are covered in the SEIR. I also wanted to point out at the bottom of the page, you'll find a bulletin which will have more instructions about the new form, using the new form and implementing that while we wait for the next update of the PD&E manual. And finally, at the bottom of the page, there's some additional supporting resources. And I also wanted to point out that just recently we gave some SEIR-focused environmental training to Florida's Turnpike Enterprise, and we've made those PowerPoints and videos available. So this is another place that you could go and watch those videos. They're all broken down into different topics. So as you're going through and preparing for your SEIR and you have questions about what should be included, you can go with, you might want to look at those videos as well as the videos and the CBTs that are available on the PD&E page. Before we get into SWEPT, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the workflow, how we process SEIRs through SWEPT. It all starts with an editor who's assigned to the project. And this role is the project-specific team member who can create and edit the SEIR on SWEPT. Once they're done with it and is ready for review, they send it to the project manager in the district. And these two assignments can be either DOT staff or consultant staff. They are people who are helping to build and review the SEIR, getting it ready for the managers. Once the project manager could also create one themselves and edit. They also review it and send it for approval when they feel it's ready. When they send it for approval, it first goes to both the district environmental manager and the district project development engineer. They will review it and certify it, recommending it for approval. These positions may delegate their authority to other users in SWEPT as needed. And then finally, it goes to our SEIR approver. This person varies in each of the districts, and the districts have given us the names of who those people are, but they are senior managers usually who review and approve the SEIR. And so they have a special form that comes up when it's ready. So in our demonstration, we're going to show you the first 3 steps in one demonstration, and then we have a separate demonstration showing you the final step. So right now, let's just go ahead and get started. And here we go.
This video briefly demonstrates preparing a State Environmental Impact Report, or SEIR, using the tool found within the StateWide Environmental Project Tracker, otherwise known as SWEPT. From the SWEPT landing page and in the left-hand menu, click Project Input/Setup, followed by State Environmental Impact Report. Enter an FM number in the provided field and click Load. The first page of the SEIR tool displays the current status of each section. Managers for the project are listed below the section statuses. Click the Show Hide History link towards the bottom of the page to show or hide the approval history. Navigate directly to a specific page or section of the tool by clicking a section link on the status page or in the table of contents. Use the buttons at the bottom right of the page to move between pages. Each time one of these buttons are clicked, the SEIR will automatically save. You can also save the form at any time by clicking the Save Draft button located below the table of contents on the right side of the tool. To return to the main project page, click the filing cabinet icon in the upper right of SWEPT. As you navigate through the sections of the SEIR tool, select the appropriate options and provide information relevant to your project. For more information or content expectations, click the link below the subsection header to view the corresponding PD&E manual chapter. Depending upon the radio button selected, additional options or questions are revealed. Certain text that will automatically be included in the SEIR, such as official statements or other applicable text that is typically expected for the situation, are displayed in purple boxes. For this particular standard statement, use the drop-down and date selector to complete the statement. The blue boxes reflect instructional text, notes, or general information. The text areas provide the opportunity to enter text and perform basic formatting techniques. Various buttons are routinely found throughout the SEIR tool. Add Attachment allows the user to include documentation related to a section. Attachments are incorporated into the approved document and are located in the appendices. Find Technical Materials identifies files referenced in the document. The file title will be listed in the Technical Materials section of the approved document. Add Commitment provides the opportunity to enter a project commitment in a text area. In the Commitment subsection, click the Add Commitment button, enter the information in the text area, followed by the Add button. The commitment will be added and saved to the SEIR. The Add More Commitments button will display below the previously entered commitment. Click this button if you would like to add additional commitments. At any time, click the PDF button in the upper right of SWEPT to create and view a PDF of the SEIR. At the bottom of each section, click the box to place a check mark indicating the section is ready for review. Once all sections have been checked, the SEIR may be submitted through the review and approval process. From the Send for Review page, select the type of review using the radio button followed by the Submit button. A confirmation page is displayed indicating the SEIR has been successfully sent to the next approver. If additional changes need to be made after the SEIR has been submitted but before final approval, you may return to the Send for Review page and withdraw the SEIR. Enter comments in the text area and click the Withdraw button. The project manager or PM will also use the Send for Review page to submit the SEIR to the next approvers. There is also an option to return the SEIR if more information or changes are needed. Please note, when selecting the Need More Information option, comments will be required. The PM will select the radio button option to send the SEIR to the DEM and PDM for approval, followed by the Submit button. A confirmation page is displayed. The District Environmental Manager, or DEM, will certify the SEIR using the Send for Review page. Select the appropriate radio button and click Submit. A confirmation page is displayed. The Project Development Manager, or PDM, will also use the Send for Review page to certify the SEIR. Select the appropriate radio button and click Submit. As both the DEM and PDM have certified the SEIR, a confirmation page is displayed indicating the document is now ready for approval by the SEIR approver. The SEIR approver will provide the final review and approval of the SEIR.
So we've gone through the first 3 steps, and if you have ever used the Type 2 tool on SWEPT, you will be very familiar with this. And one thing we didn't go into a lot of details with, but you'll see in the next one, is that just like all the other approvals and processes in SWEPT, the next person will get an email and they'll be able to click it and go right to the form. So when the editor's done and they send it to the project manager will get an email, they click it, it pulls up the form, and they can go through the form to review it and approve it as shown. Also, just wanted to point out that the step for the DEM and PDE happens simultaneously. So they both get the notifications, and it doesn't matter which one goes in first. They go in and they certify it. When both are done, it goes on to the SEIR approver. So now I'm going to show how the SEIR approver process works.
The Statewide Environmental Project Tracker, otherwise known as SWEPT, includes a tool to review and approve the State Environmental Impact Report, or SEIR. This video briefly demonstrates how the SEIR approver role can access, review, and approve the SEIR. The SEIR approver is informed the document is available for review after both the District Environmental Manager, or DEM, and the Project Development Manager, or PDM, have certified the SEIR. The approval page can be accessed 3 different ways. The first method is through an email notification to the SEIR approver. In the notification above the approval history section, click the link to access the approval page. Please note, the page will open in your default internet browser where you will first have to log into SWEPT by entering your username and password. The 2 remaining methods allow the user to access the approval page while already logged into SWEPT. From the landing page, click the bell icon in the upper right of the page. Locate the SEIR project and click the Approve SEIR link in the Action column. The last method uses the District Signatures Report page. In the left-hand menu, click Projects Needing Approval, followed by District Signatures. Locate the SEIR project and click the Review button in the Review column. The project information is displayed at the top of the approval page. In the blue box, click the links to view the PDF or form version of the SEIR. Towards the bottom of the page, the approval history is visible by default. Click the Show Hide History link to hide or show this section. The Approval section provides the SEIR approver the opportunity to approve, not approve, or return the SEIR for more information. A brief description of these options are displayed in the blue box below the Submit button. To approve the SEIR, click the radio button for Approved. Comments are optional when approving the SEIR, however, they are required if not approving or returning for more information. Click the Submit button to finalize the approval. A confirmation page is displayed indicating the SEIR has been approved.
And last of all, we just wanted to show you what a draft of a SEIR PDF that's created out of SWEPT looks like.
Okay, all of the SEIR PDFs, they have their cover page, and it includes the basic project information, project manager, standard statements. This statement right here, if the district has determined that a public hearing is not needed, then this portion will not be included. So it only shows up whenever a public hearing has occurred. Okay, we've got our project manager contact information. If you'd like, you can include the consulting contact information. We've got our table of contents. This is built off of all of the sections. And you can click on any of the items in the table of contents to automatically jump down to that section. Okay. Got a project location map, project information. You can add pictures, diagrams in the text areas when you're filling out the form. Planning consistency. We did add an option to where planning consistency is not required for it. You'll be able to check that box and then there'll just be a statement reflecting that. So you wouldn't see the table or anything. But if you do, then there you go. Let's see. This section is our environmental analysis summary. This is automatically built based off of the questions and how you've answered them while you're working on the document. You don't have to do anything extra. This is all done behind the scenes. It's just a general overview of all of your resources and the impacts that they could have. Okay. You can add tables. Let's jump through. Let's see, and here's, an example, standard statement. see, there are bookmarks available. That way you can just jump to any particular section as well. Let's go to permits. Okay, the engineering section. Commitments, as you're filling out the document, you can enter commitments in different sections and we will pull them all together into one place. Let's see. Okay, as mentioned in the video, we have our technical materials and attachments. All of the technical materials are just listed. They don't link to anything. They're not included in this document, but there will be a combined list of all technical materials. And then our attachments, there'll be a similar list, but they are actually included in this PDF. So you can add all of your information, documentation, maps, anything that's added as an attachment will show up in the final SEIR product. Do we have any questions? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right, Rebecca, why is the text in another language? That's just something we use when we're filling out, developing and testing. It's just kind of Latin text that we use.
Yeah, we don't have any real SEIRs yet that have gone through the tool, so we're just showing test data.
And this is Pete also adding to that, we'll always show test data, because the first thing that happens when you show real projects with real things is everybody starts to read it and they're like, oh, I know that project. Instead of actually understanding how everything works, they start saying, oh, that text, I would have changed it. I would have said this differently. So we use Latin stuff, so you focus on what the functionality is, not what the words are.
All right, and then can you add the other documents listed, not as attachments?
So at the bottom of each section, there's options to add additional documents, and you can add whichever documents you feel are needed, either as attachments or technical materials. We provide it kind of both ways, like as you're going through the document, when you're focused on a specific section, answering a specific question, and we know that there might be something needed, we give you a prompt. And those prompts, it's important to realize that those are just things that we think in terms of looking at the PD&E manual that you might have to provide depending on the context of your project. And every single one of them is not required. It really depends on your project and following the PD&E manual for the project. But as you go through the SWEPT form, you can either upload things, attach them, or reference them through the technical materials links at that location, or down below, you have the option to also add any documents that you feel are needed. And it's really the discretion of the project team in many cases if something should be a attachment or technical materials. Some of the types of documents are actually specified depending on the project in the PD&E manual, so it's really important to know those requirements.
Thanks, Ruth. Our next question is from Gordon. When will the SEIR tool become effective and required?
I can answer this one. So we already announced the SEIR tool will be going live last Wednesday to the environmental leadership group. Jason with understanding from that group, has created an environmental bulletin that's already ready to be published. The SEIR itself is already on production, but we wanted to go through the training, and it will be available right after this discussion. Now, here's sort of the caveat for when you want to use it versus not use it. If you've already begun working on a SEIR, you can already just keep on trucking with exactly what you're already working on. If you are beginning a new SEIR after today, then you should look at getting it into the SEIR application and be doing it electronically. That was the discussion with the statewide environmental leadership, and that was the expectation of coming out with the SEIR webinar today, and then follow-up directions on implementation as well.
Thanks, Pete. Next question is from Brian. The list documents had CRAS in the initials. Will they all be spelled out in the final product?
No, you go ahead, Steph. Go ahead and answer.
Oh, okay. That whenever you upload your documents, you have the ability to add a description of that. And whenever I uploaded this document, I just put CRAS, but you can spell it out or use any type of text or terminology that you feel would be good there for the final report.
So it's in the there's a field in the upload dialog that says title or description, and that is the text that will appear in your document.
Thanks. Great. Next question. Let's see, Rebecca, can you add draft documents and then change the report as it's finalized?
So yes, you can do that, but keep in mind, if it's in the review process, you have to pull it back, withdraw it, make the change, and then put it back through the review process. So you would want, as you go through it, through the process, just keep that in mind of the timing of that. And of course, once it's approved, if there's some change that's made, it would need to be reapproved.
Thanks, Ruth. Let's see. I don't see any more questions at this time. Did anybody else have anything?
And of course, we're always here for you. If you have any questions you think of later, just give us a call or email at the help desk. If it's a project-specific question, like you want to know how something's addressed for a project-specific, you may want to check with the OEM project development coordinator or engineer that's assigned to your district or the Turnpike. Even though OEM does not approve SEIRs, our staff are very knowledgeable and can help you. So with that, we're not seeing any more questions. We'd like to just say thank you for attending. Our goal is to get this recording split into different sections so you can go to a specific spot and find just the piece that you're interested in and get that out on our website as soon as possible. And I'll send out an email to everybody who registered, plus to all the SWEPT users where those can be found. Thank you very much.